Hello friends, welcome to Study IQ. Today we are going to discuss about the Special Frontier Force. There has been a lot of news, the entire social media is abuzz with the talk of Special Frontier Force. As you can see here in the news snippet, how India's Special Frontier Force has been a nightmare for China. Because of this reason it has been in news. So today we are going to talk about the Special Frontier Force. We are going to get a background of Special Frontier Force and its track record. Before we head into discussion, if you want to follow me, you can follow me on these IDs, Rahul Sai 222. I have recently started my Twitter handle also, Rahul Sai 222_SIQ, Study IQ, so you can follow me there as well. Now, apart from that, Study IQ has brought prelims cum main scores for 2021, UPSC 2021. For more information, I would urge you to download the app from Google Play Store. As I mentioned that the Special Frontier Force has been in news lately, but if you talk about the Indian Army and Indian forces, we have witnessed so many instances of Indian Army's might and Indian Army's courage many times, and among that today we are going to talk specifically about the Special Frontier Force, which is also known as the Vikas Battalion. This Vikas Battalion, it has been instrumental in preventing the Chinese occupation in the line of actual control in Ladakh. Recently, the Special Frontier Force has thwarted an attempt by the Chinese People's Liberation Army to capture the Thakung and the Kala Top peaks. The Special Frontier Force has pushed back the Chinese forces, and the People's Liberation Army was not allowed to dominate in these regions, and the Indian forces, the Special Frontier Forces, the Vikas Battalion, it is holding the dominant positions in these peaks. So let us talk about the history of the Special Frontier Force of India. Let me just tell you a background of the Special Frontier Force. The Special Frontier Force was established in 1962 in the aftermath of Sino-Indian War. India was defeated by the Chinese in 1962, and after that the Special Frontier Force was the brainchild of the then Director of Intelligence Bureau, B.N. Malik. Now B.N. Malik, he decided that we need to recruit Tibetan people because we have already lost the war with China. Now we need to do something to counter the Chinese aggression, and we use the Tibet card. We already know that China occupied Tibet way back in 1950. Initially, India did accept the suzerainty of Chinese over Tibet, but since 1959, India has given asylum to Dalai Lama. In fact, the government in exile of Tibet, it runs in Dharmshala in Himachal Pradesh. So we have used the Tibetan card to a certain extent. So B.N. Malik decided that we are going to create a 5,000 strong force of Tibetans. The main intention behind this was to go for missions against China. The intention was basically to rile up a revolution or a protest in Tibet itself. In fact, not just Intelligence Bureau of India, but the CIA, the covert organization of United States of America, the Central Intelligence Agency, it has been involved, or it had been involved for a very long time to train Tibetan guerrillas against the Chinese forces. And now India also decided to join this. The intention, as I told you, was to foment some sort of revolution in Tibet, which did not fructify, and that is why the Tibetan armies, they never fought in China, and in India this Special Frontier Force was created, which was filled with Tibetans. In fact, initially it was called as Establishment 22 because it was raised by Major General Sujan Singh Uban, who was an artillery officer in the 22 Mountain Regiment, and that is why it was called Establishment 22 after the 22 Mountain Regiment. And as I mentioned initially, the Special Frontier Force, it consisted mainly of the Tibetans and the Tibetan refugees, Tibetan youth. But today, if you look at the Special Frontier Force, the Vikas Battalion, it has Tibetans, it also has Gorkhas. In fact, it is one of the special and the elite forces in the Indian forces. Now, if I look at the information about the Special Frontier Force, the first thing is that it is a very elite and intelligence battalion of Indian Army. The Special Frontier Force, it is normally posted along the Uttarakhand to Ladakh borders along China. So they have expertise in high altitude operations. In fact, these Vikas Battalion, the Special Frontier Forces, they are highly trained and special forces. They are well versed of the latest weapons, latest equipments that are available with Indian Army. They are well versed with mountain operations. They are well versed with reconnaissance and surveillance. Intelligence is their forte, and so is the war. In fact, when I talk about the Special Frontier Force, there is a very special thing to know about it, that it does not come under the Indian Army, although it functions under the Indian Army. But the Special Frontier Force, it falls under the purview of Cabinet Secretariat, and it is headed by an Inspector General, who is basically an army officer of the Major General rank. Means it functions under the army, but it comes under the purview of the Cabinet Secretariat. Now, apart from that, the Special Frontier Force, it also has women soldiers. They are also specially trained. Apart from that, when I talk about the success of Special Frontier Force or Vikas Battalion, they have contributed immensely in multiple operations. For example, Operation Eagle, where they helped in liberation of Bangladesh. And I want the students to please remember all these operations. Anything can come up in the exam, competitive examinations. Operation Eagle, where we liberated Bangladesh. You can see the picture here of the Special Frontier Force. Most of the soldiers are Tibetan, and now we do have Gorkhas in that. Operation Blue Star is another operation where the Vikas Battalion helped immensely. Operation Blue Star was basically an operation to flush out the militants connected to Khalistan movement, which was led by Jarnail Singh Bhindranwale. Under this operation, there was some damage which was done to the Golden Temple complex, but the repercussions were heavy. After the Operation Blue Star, one of the Sikh guards of former Prime Minister Indira Gandhi assassinated her, and later on we saw the 1984 Sikh pogroms in Delhi also. Apart from Operation Eagle and Operation Blue Star, the Vikas Battalion has also contributed immensely in Operation Meghdoot, where the Indian Army captured the Siachen Glacier's highest points. Even till today, we are the ones who are holding a better vantage point in the Siachen Glaciers. And finally, the Special Frontier Force or the Vikas Battalion, they have played a very, very important role in Operation Vijay, where we flushed out the infiltrators who had come from Pakistan and captured some of the peaks in Kargil in the Ladakh sector in Jammu and Kashmir. After a long drawn war, we were in a position of disadvantage. We were at a lower level, but still the Vikas Battalion fought valiantly and captured the Kargil peaks very, very soon. So these are the operations which were very, very successful by the Special Frontier Force. However, there has been one black spot on the Special Frontier Forces. Way back in 1965, it was involved in a joint operation along with the Central Intelligence Agency of United States of America. The reason for this operation was that a nuclear powered device was to be put on Mount Nanda Devi in Uttarakhand, so that we observe the Chinese nuclear program, how effectively the Chinese are running their nuclear program, how close are they to reach nuclear capability. This was the reason for which we were supposed to plant this device in the hilly and the icy regions. But it is said that in 1965, the nuclear powered device was lost in the Mount Nanda Devi in Uttarakhand. And there was a lot of hue and cry about this in the Indian media. In fact, Prime Minister of India at that time, Lal Bahadur Shastri, had to give a statement on this particular operation. So it is one of the black spots on the Vikas Battalion, but nonetheless, there has been immense success for Vikas Battalion. Why we are discussing this today is, yes, they are doing a great job in Ladakh, but there has been a sad news where one of the soldiers from the Special Frontier Forces has been martyred. You can see here the Tibetan soldiers' death near the Pangong Tso Lake. It brings in focus the elite force, and I want to make a special mention here for the soldier Nyama Tenzin. And not just from my side, from the entire nation, we express our gratitude and we value your sacrifice. In fact, we are proud of the Indian forces, not just Nyama Tenzin. Each and every soldier who has lost life on the line of duty, each and every individual who is maintaining the law and order and has lost life in line of duty, I want to express my gratitude, the entire nation's gratitude for your service towards the nation. And I would like to salute personally to the valor and the courage of all the forces from India who put their lives on the line, on the border, not thinking about their lives and keeping us safe and secure. With this, I end the discussion. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.